Yeah.
My problem is not that I don't believe. My problem is I don't believe people that much. And I do believe some people, and there's some sincere people, and that's one of my problems with Bob Lazar. I believe Bob Lazar. When I talk to that guy, I like what you say. I believe he believes what he's saying. And there's something to that. But I also think, God, if you wanted to get someone that you could easily discredit, if you had a propulsion system that was baffling you, and you had some wizard who likes to make hydrogen-powered Corvettes, and you put a rocket engine in the back of a Honda. Did you ever see that?
I did.
He's a psycho. So he's a guy who understands propulsion systems. He's clearly brilliant. You listen to the guy talk, he's off the charts intelligent.
Yeah.
And he would say, hey, let's bring the fucking psycho over here. Let's have that guy go down there. I mean, this guy's out there in the fucking desert shooting AK-47s and shit. He's a wild man, right? So you bring that guy and you tell him, hey, tell us what this is. Go to work. And he's walking around there and he's like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's the kind of guy if you're at the end of your rope, especially if you're a brilliant person, if you're a brilliant person and you happen to be a general or happen to be someone who's in charge over there, and you are thinking, like, we got to look outside the box, like, we got to do something, we got to bring in other perspectives, and you got to bring in someone that's not going to be able to communicate with other scientists. This is part of the problem. You can't share data. They can't peer review with other scientists all over the world because it's top secret shit. So everything has to stay within this small group, very small group of people, and none of them are cracking it. All of them they bring in, they're fucking stunned and baffled. So you keep funneling new people in. They do experiments. Something blows up. Some people die. And you're like, okay, let's try some more. What else you got? Well, we got this guy at Los Alamos Lab. He puts fucking rocket engines in the back of Hondas, and he's a propulsions expert. He's kind of nuts, but maybe bring him in.
Yeah, so I'll get back to my domain because this is the stuff that I know, and I know primarily because I went and interviewed the witnesses.
I just went off on a tangent.
But, it's all good.
I'm in a Bob Lazar day.
Okay. I just don't know the case well enough to comment on it. I mean, more than that, the reason why I shared that video story is not because I'm sitting there telling you that's a definitive piece of evidence that the world's been waiting for, but it's very compelling. It's never been released, and I'm giving you guys a lead on that. This guy has it. Logan Paul.
So Logan Paul, just put it out on your podcast.
He might do that. So
yeah,
anyway,
I mean, if the guy sues you, the money that you'd make from having that and releasing it would probably be way worth it.
And I hope if the two guys that shot it, one was 19, the other guy was close to 30.
So if those guys are still alive.
They lived in Los Angeles, and they're definitely still alive. Yeah, they should be.
So if those guys are still alive, let's put together a documentary.
Well, I'd like to see the original tape, because it's going to be a lot better condition than an old VHS tape.
Tell these gentlemen, I'll get you on the podcast. Come on.
So
tell the story.
Contact me at James C. Fox.
Oh, don't put your email. What are you, crazy?
No, it wasn't.
Delete that.
That was my Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just at my Twitter.
I thought you were going to give your email out. No. Good Lord, sir.
No, I made a mistake in doing that one time on Larry King Live.
Oh, no. How many dick pics did you get? Any?
I was so inundated. I could not believe. I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, there's probably like millions of people watching that show.
Oh, my Lord. It was crazy.
And
anyway.
The people when it comes to UFOs, people are very passionate.
Absolutely. So let me get back to my argument because
from 1945 forward.
Yeah, let's go from 1945.
Am I correct? And this is one of the things that I've always heard is that after the bombs were dropped, that's when the UFO started showing up.
Well, that's when the activity certainly heightened, and So,
is there any indication that they were directly connected, other than the fact that they just show up? Was there ever any?
So. I'll tell you
testimony.
I'll tell you how it organically came upon my attention. I was working with this guy Lance Mungia. He was one of the editors that was working on the phenomenon with me, and we were doing this archive from this guy named David Marler's got this incredible archive of UFO material dating right back to the 40s all the way to modern day. Newspaper headlines, audio recordings, statements, broadcast. Unbelievable. The biggest archive you could spend the rest of your life in there. So he gave me a bunch of stuff that was archive interviews of primarily people at White Sands, Holloman Air Force Base, different areas in Texas. And I was just putting it in. It's kind of like a little montage in the piece of just giving the illustration that these things are going on kind of all over. And my buddy goes, hey, man, let's put a map on the wall and put pins in the map for all these different locations. So I was like, oh, okay, sure, let's do that. So we put a map on the wall in the edit room when we were doing the phenomenon. And we were putting pins in, and we looked at each other after like a day or two. We were like, look at proximity to Trinity Site. Wow. Even Socorro, White Sands, this place in Texas. Like, that's kind of unusual. We're kind of scratching our heads. Do you think there's a correlation? So anyway, we didn't really take it much further than that, but we definitely took notice. And then I met with Senator Harry Reid. Thank you, George Knapp, for helping make that happen. Former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who started the ATIP program. And during the interview, I didn't think about asking him this, but at the end, and he had like, I'll have 47 minutes with you, and then I got to go. And he's got all the security guards and big guys with earpieces looking at me. And I said, well, sir, would you mind if we could do a quick walk and talk? He goes, yeah, I'll give you 45 seconds. So I figured, well, while I'm walking with Senator Reid, I'm going to ask him what was one of the more astonishing aspects of the phenomenon that they uncovered during this Pentagon UFO program. And right away, without hesitation, he goes, the fact that there are incursions over our nuclear missile facilities, nuclear armed facilities,